How's it hanging, YouTube? This is King of Feral Imps, and today I have Kaijus. Yay! This isn't completely finished, and this is a build that I've been working on. Normally you would want to use, normally people want to use Ninja Kaijus, or you want to try out some other archetype with Kaijus, just because the archetype is not complete at all. But this is a build that I kind of feel works to use sort of only the Kaiju, and can kind of work when the new ones come out to fit them in there in some way. So this is Kaiju Turbo, an idea that I have, and may or may not work, but I'm gonna go profile it. So of course the first three, the first three monsters of course would be Dogoron, the Mad Flame Kaiju. This is the first one. He is a level 8 dinosaur type monster with 3,000 attack points. Of course, just like all the other Kaiju, you can only special summon him from your hand if your opponent controls a Kaiju. You can special summon him other ways, or even normal summon him, but that's the main kicker to the effect that you would want to use. You can also remove Kaiju counters to blow up all your opponent's monsters on the field and stuff, but he can attack that turn, so this is the more powerful one. He's the big one. That he's just kind of and what's pretty cool is it fits his picture of, I guess, what he would be, just a mad raging monster. Then is 3 of the Kumungus, the Sticky String Kaiju. This one's a little weaker. It's got the same basic effect. If your opponent controls a Kaiju, you can special summon it, and also you can only control one face-up Kaiju. But he's got the effect that you can remove Kaiju counters from the field when a monster is summoned, and then negate its effects, and it can attack that turn. So this one's sort of the more strategic one. This one's got the better effect to have on your side of the field during your opponent's turn. And he's an insect, and of course it's pretty neat because the effect is when your opponent summons a monster, basically they get stuck in the string. These are the only 2 Kaijus now. So of course the deck just needs a lot more in order to be good. After that, the only other monsters I'm using is 3 Card D. For the turbo portion, I guess, and then 3 effect Veiler. Of course, because hand traps kind of work with drawing stuff. And yeah. Now, I don't have Mexi, just because your opponent's not always going to be special summoning. And not that I couldn't find the room, but I couldn't think of it. I would want to try out Mexi, and if you try this out, you should. Also, it'd be something neat to use and whatnot, but yeah, that's it for monsters. Next up for these spells, I'm using 3 Pot of Duality. This one is sort of goes with Card and kind of meant for the first turns when you need to set things up and draw into the stuff you need for the consistency, of course. Then the Upstart Goblin. Doesn't always matter if your opponent has more life points. If you can get into the better position, helps with drawing as well. Mostly because we need to draw this card very soon, Cue to Grand Waterfront. The effect is that every time a card is sent from the field to the graveyard, place a counter on it, and it can hold up to 5. And if you have at least 3 counters on it, once per turn you can search a Kaiju from your deck. So of course this is the key part to the deck. This is what you need to make everything run well and to hold all your counters on the field and everything, and helps also search out all your other stuff. That's a field spell, and of course using 2 of the terraforming to go ahead and search it out, because the field, like I said, the field spell is very important. Now I will say something. I was thinking of playing some chicken games to help with the drawing, but in the end I figured, well, because you need to draw a field spell, and chicken game is a field spell, should you ever get to the point where you draw a chicken game after you draw Cue to Waterfront, or if you have the terraforming, you're obviously going to go for the Waterfront because you need that more, rather than chicken game, because yeah, so it being a field spell doesn't work. If it were like a continuous spell, that would work so much better. But no, so that's my reasoning for not using chicken game. And after that, just 2 magic planners, because I do play a decent amount of continuous traps. That's it for spells. I feel like the trap portion is the most heavy part, but yeah. 1 Solemn, the Bottomless, the Compulsory, the Ring of Destruction, and Vanities. I can never fit all 5, but these are basic 5 one-ofs for traps. Then after that, I'm using 2 Call of the Haunteds. My reasoning being is because, well, the reason I was using Magic Planner is because it works pretty good in like other Kaiju variants. And I didn't exactly want to drop it, so I kind of wanted more continuous traps, so I'm using Call of the Haunted. And also, one reason you can call the Haunted your effect Veiler and then make synchro plays. And then also if your opponent happens to get over one of your Kaiju, like, Kamungus, then Call the Haunted brings it right back, and it's pretty nice and everything. And yeah, and then even if they get rid of it, your field spell's still going to get counters. After that is 3 Fiendish Chain. This is more monster effect negation and also stops attacks, which is useful because it keeps them on the field, and then on your turn comes around, you can say like Magic Planner away the Fiendish Chain and then sack your opponent's monster for a Kaiju. After that is 3 Reckless Greeds, helping with the turbo part or portion of it. You do skip your draw phase, but if you get into a position where you draw everything you need, and if you can resolve the 2 Recklesses at once, then after that you can go ahead and on your turn, use Kyoto's effect, or use any dualities you have, or Magic Planners, and then just keep drawing consistently should you need to. And then the last trap, which is crazy hard to find. I only found 1 copy. Remove Brainwashing. Thankfully, it's gone down in price. But of course, you know what this is for. Sack your opponent's monster, flip this. Then you take back your monster, and then you get the fancy effect, and you're rid of your opponent's monster. And yeah, I do have to proxy, because this is, like I said, it's hard to find. But of course, it's also a continuous trap, so you can always Magic Planter it away if you have any extra copies. Or, having 3 just helps because you need to get to this card. And that's one of the reasons being just because currently as the deck is, you need so many of the pieces to work. And I didn't exactly want to use the Ninja engine. Well, I may end up using that and profiling it later, but right now I'm trying this out, sort of a Turbo Kaiju. It's mostly consistent and stuff, but yeah, whatever. That's it for the main deck. Anyway, that has been it for this really quick and really interesting or different build of Kaiju, this Kaiju Turbo, like I said. So far, it works alright. It does not work the best, of course, and even Ninja Kaiju builds or any other Kaiju builds, from what I hear, they don't always work the best, and from what I've tried, they're alright. The deck needs more, but like I said, this is a build that I'm using that once the other Kaiju come out, I can relatively easily slip them in and then continue playing. Yeah, I'm using no extra deck just because how it is, it's just meant for straight Kaiju and stuff. But of course you can play some synchros because there is the 1 effect Veiler. Anyway, let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Also, give me any suggestions for maybe different builds of Kaiju you would like to see me try out. Let me know what you think of this one. I know it's not the best, but I just kind of wanted to show you what I thought of and what I'm working with, sort of. Give me any suggestions. If anything, I think I would ditch the Call of the Haunteds for Maxis. But aside from that, yeah, not so much that I can think of. Just really waiting on the new Kaiju to be announced and released. Anyway, remember to leave a like to show your support, and subscribe if you enjoyed the content. This has been King of Feral Imps. Have a nice day.